Who do we have, Chicago?
We got David from North Miami Beach.
Excellent. Hey, David, welcome to the show.
Greetings, time changer.
Hello.
Yes, welcome back to reality. Yes.
Thanks. In air quotes.
I'm not saying we have to. I'm not saying we have to go full Logan's Run, but maybe more like Sliders, the Young and the Ruthless. Trump is proof we have a dementia problem of people who might have been, at their prime in the 80s, but they're still trying to run the game like the 80s, and they weren't good at it the first time. If we could quickly and safely screen everyone for dementia and say, fine, here's the same salary you used to have, but we're taking away the steering wheel. How much time and money and grief could we have saved? I was okay with Clinton being the first former president and maybe Hillary as the last, but part of the problem is generational. Meanwhile, us Gen Xers, we're getting literally squeezed out between boomers who won't leave and millennials hot on our tail.
Right. Well, here's what I will say. The only problem I have with your premise, and you kind of alluded to it in the middle, is that the illusion that Trump specifically ever knew what he was doing. Because we're not talking about Fred Trump, the creator of the organization. We're talking about the second generation rich kid zone of things. And that's a wholly different group of human beings. And right. And no generation is free of those kind of people.
True, but they had all the benefits, and a lot of them squandered it bigly. Have you seen the show Hardcore Pawn, where the patriarch thinks he knows everything? It's like a working class version of the Trump family. They think they're so smart, but they're their own worst enemy.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of that to go around, but I don't take what reality television tells me as reality as. Yeah, I don't take what reality television shows me as exemplary of human beings in general. I also think generationally, you're going to see a snapback of, Gen Xers are going to enter the political sphere a little later and you're going to see a lot of millennial and Gen Z are going to kind of rush in and rush out. Even AOC was talking recently about how she hates her job and she feels like she could do more good outside of government. And she ran in an easy district. Like, she's got a layup re-election. Yep. So if she's saying that, that's indicative of that generation's sort of fortitude about getting done what they need to get done. And the problem with a revolutionary generation is that a lot of times they don't have the long slog mentality that's required to get the stuff on the board and keep making progress over time. Whereas Gen Xers, quite frankly, materially kind of do, a lot of latchkey kids, a lot of self-starters in that crowd. So you very well may see them entering the process later. Yeah. But we also have, again, most of what America is going to be dealing with as far as, aging populace is going to shift how we live anyways. I've talked about longevity on my private live stream, and I've talked about it in my stand-up sometimes, but we are entering a whole new world of what it means to grow old and be still functional in society. And the boomers may be the last generation that battles dementia in any major way, before on their way out.
We have a double crisis of failure to set up for retirement and failure to set up for long-term care. Thanks.
Right. Yeah. Appreciate it. No, I appreciate the call. And again, the person, woman, man, camera, TV test that Trump was patting himself on the back for passing midway through his presidency would have probably been one of the things to add to the list that Hillary and her campaign thought would discredit him and disqualify him in the first place. Right. So if he'd have said that around the time of that exact interview, the whole person, woman, man, camera, TV thing that he did, with the interviewer back and forth, if that interview had come out the same time as the Access Hollywood tape, there's a very strong chance that would have shaved the numbers off that he would have gotten to get elected and Hillary would have been president. She would be in her second term right now. She would, more than likely. So And the idea that Biden, because he's old, automatically has dementia because he's being more careful in his speech as a stutterer, but also as president than he's ever been before, because he was always the ready, fire, aim dude when it came to talking. Yep. He even, famously, swearing into Obama's ear, famously getting ahead of Obama and the rest of the administration on gay marriage, for example, saying the truth, basically a malapropism of truth every so often, saying what everybody else is thinking. That recognizing his Irish temper and his need to pace himself, and you can see him doing it. You can literally, they use a video of him putting his chin on his notebook when Peter Doocy is asking him another stupid question. And, back early on, they use that as him getting tired or praying or not knowing where he is or whatever, when in reality, he is responding like a lot of us who are like, all right, how do I diplomatically, now that I am president, handle this a little more like a statesman than if I was a congressperson, where I would just call this guy a moron to his face, like John McCain
you would
did.
Do if you became president.
Yeah. If you cared. Trump never did, and that's why they're confused. We got to take a break. When we come back, more calls, 773-763-9278. We'll be back. Magoo.